For decades, Donald Trump has surrounded himself with luxury and secrecy, but one of the most mysterious aspects of his life remains hidden from the public. A private island, a place where he can escape the cameras, meet with powerful figures, and do things no one is supposed to know about. Very little information about this island exists, but from time to time, leaks emerge, raising serious questions. What exactly does Trump do there? Why is this place guarded more heavily than the White House? While journalists and analysts speculate, new evidence, photos, and reports are beginning to surface, clues that might change everything we thought we knew about his real plans. What is hidden on this island? Who visits? And why do even Trump's closest allies refuse to speak about it? Donald Trump's private island has long been a subject of speculation, but very few verifiable details exist. Unlike his famous properties, Mar-a-Lago, Trump Tower, or his golf resorts, this island remains shrouded in secrecy, with limited records and almost no public acknowledgement from Trump himself. Despite this, satellite images and leaked travel logs have hinted at its existence. The island, located in a secluded area far from the U.S. mainland, is believed to be a highly exclusive retreat visited only by a select few. Sources claim that it is more secure than any of his other properties, with private security teams, restricted airspace, and a no-fly zone that keeps unwanted visitors away. Reports suggest that access to the island is strictly controlled. There are no commercial flights, no tourist boats, and no official records of ownership under Trump's name. Instead, investigators believe it is registered under a network of shell companies, making it difficult to trace. The few private aircraft and yachts that have been linked to the island belong to high-profile figures in politics, business, and media. Those who have tried to investigate the island directly have faced serious obstacles. Journalists who attempted to approach by boat reported being turned away by armed security forces before they even got close. One investigative team claimed that their drone, sent to capture footage, was intercepted within minutes by an unknown defense system. The secrecy surrounding the island has fueled endless speculation about what really happens there. Some sources describe it as a private escape, a place where Trump can relax away from the public eye. Others, however, believe the island serves a far greater purpose, with hidden meetings, deals, and high-stakes discussions taking place far from the press. Satellite images have shown massive construction projects on the island in recent years. Analysts have pointed out unusually large structures, private airstrips, and what appears to be a highly secured underground facility. There is no public record of these developments, yet they continue to expand. Adding to the mystery, a pattern has emerged in Trump's travel history. During key moments in his business and political career, his private jet and associated aircraft have made unexplained detours, often disappearing from flight tracking systems before later reappearing near known private aviation hubs. Some believe these disappearances coincide with visits to the island, while others suggest they are merely cover for something even more secretive. A former staffer from one of Trump's other properties once hinted at the level of privacy involved, saying, "People think Mar-a-Lago is where things happen, but that's just a show. If you want to know what's really going on, you need to look at the places that no one talks about." But what exactly is he keeping away from public view? And why has no journalist ever managed to set foot on the island? The mystery only deepens as more details begin to emerge. The secrecy surrounding Donald Trump's private island has led to increasing efforts by investigative journalists, satellite analysts, and intelligence experts to uncover what truly happens there. However, every attempt to gather information has been met with resistance, disappearances of data, and unexplained security measures. Several independent journalists have attempted to approach the island by boat, only to report unmarked security vessels intercepting them long before they got within visual range. One investigative team described how their GPS mysteriously malfunctioned as they neared the island, forcing them to retreat. Another group claimed they were warned over radio communications to leave immediately, with no identification provided by the voices issuing the threats. Satellite images reveal strange anomalies. Unlike commercial islands with visible infrastructure, Trump's island appears eerily blank on most publicly available maps. Researchers analyzing high-resolution images discovered irregularly shaped structures, an unusually large airstrip for such a remote location, and signs of extensive underground development. These facilities, according to some experts, could not exist without advanced technology and immense financial backing. Why would such a location require these levels of secrecy? A former intelligence analyst, speaking anonymously, suggested that Trump's island is far more than just a personal retreat. This is not just a billionaire's playground. It's something bigger. The kind of activity we're seeing around this island is on par with high-level government sites. Adding to the intrigue, several high-profile individuals from various industries have been linked to discreet visits. These include media executives, powerful investors, and political figures whose names never appear in public travel logs, but are connected through leaked aviation data. Some of these figures have publicly denied ever visiting, yet documents suggest their private jets were temporarily grounded at airports closest to the island before suddenly vanishing from tracking systems. Stranger still is the lack of any real public record of Trump ever acknowledging the island. He is known for boasting about his properties, yet this location is never mentioned in any of his books, interviews, or business dealings. When questioned about it, former aides and close associates either deny its existence outright or deflect the conversation. One longtime business associate of Trump, when pressed about the island, simply laughed and said, "You don't ask about things you're not supposed to know." Despite efforts to keep this island hidden, the patterns, evidence, and emerging leaks continue to suggest that this place holds far more significance than the world realizes. What is the island really used for? Who else knows about it? And why has every serious attempt to investigate it been met with silence? More pieces of the puzzle are beginning to emerge. As the mystery surrounding Donald Trump's private island deepens, the pieces of the puzzle begin to connect in ways no one expected. Leaked documents, flight records, and anonymous sources reveal a pattern that suggests this island is far more than just a private retreat. Investigators tracking aviation data have identified multiple private jets and helicopters flying to and from the island, most of them unregistered to Trump's known businesses. These aircraft belong to a small circle of powerful individuals, many of whom have direct influence in finance, media, and global politics. While some of these visits could be dismissed as personal meetings, the frequency and secrecy of these trips raise questions. The flight paths alone tell a strange story. Unlike Trump's well-documented travel history, where the media meticulously tracks his every move, these flights disappear from radar for extended periods before reappearing near restricted airspace. Aviation experts have pointed out that this type of signal loss is rare and suggests deliberate interference. Even more suspicious is that some of these aircraft belong to figures who publicly distance themselves from Trump, raising concerns about hidden negotiations and undisclosed alliances. One source close to former Trump associates claimed that several high-profile figures from both U.S. political parties have visited the island, despite publicly opposing Trump. This suggests that whatever is happening there transcends political rivalries and is something more strategic. Satellite images reveal unexpected developments. In addition to the underground structures previously identified, new imagery suggests the presence of a highly secured docking area, capable of receiving large vessels far too big for casual transport. This discovery raises concerns about who or what has been transported to the island under the radar. Adding to the mystery, financial records leaked by investigative groups show unusual offshore transactions, pointing to an elaborate funding system supporting the island's infrastructure. These payments do not appear in Trump's known financial disclosures, further deepening suspicions. Some analysts believe that funding for the island's development has been funneled through a complex web of offshore accounts, making it nearly impossible to trace the true sources of the money. Security experts studying the island's layout have noted a series of high-tech surveillance systems, including motion detection, thermal imaging, and even possible drone defense mechanisms. This level of security far exceeds what would be expected for a personal retreat, leading some to believe that the island is being used for far more than just relaxation. Efforts to expose the full scale of the island's purpose have been silenced in several ways. Journalists who have reported on a claim they have been threatened, followed, or had their research mysteriously disappear. Several independent investigators attempting to approach the island have been intercepted and turned away under unclear legal justifications. One particularly alarming case involved a well-known journalist who had been investigating Trump's secret properties for years. After publishing an article that mentioned the island, his entire research database was wiped from his servers overnight. The journalist later reported that his sources went silent, and he received anonymous warnings advising him to drop the story. Even former White House insiders, when asked about the island, refused to speak on record. One former staffer, after being pressed for details, reportedly responded with a cryptic warning. "There are things even the media won't touch. You should do the same." If this location is truly as inconsequential as Trump's circle claims, why does it require such extreme secrecy and security? And if it's just another luxurious retreat, why are so many powerful figures linked to it without any public acknowledgement? The world is still waiting for the full truth. The final puzzle pieces. As more investigators, independent journalists, and intelligence analysts attempt to uncover the full truth behind Donald Trump's private island, new evidence begins to surface. Evidence that raises more questions than answers. What was once thought to be just another billionaire retreat now appears to be a highly strategic location, protected by layers of secrecy that go beyond anything seen in Trump's publicly known properties. The island's security infrastructure is unlike any other. Experts analyzing satellite footage have pointed out multiple heavily guarded checkpoints, advanced surveillance towers, and a hidden underground facility that wasn't visible in earlier images. These developments suggest that the island is not just a getaway. It is a controlled, high-security zone with a purpose no one fully understands. The unexplained visitors. Even more shocking than the island's infrastructure are the people linked to it. Investigators tracing private flight records have identified several key figures from politics, media, and global business sectors, all of whom have been connected to secretive trips near the island. These include a former high-ranking intelligence official known for their involvement in classified operations, a billionaire media mogul who has shaped public opinion for decades, several political donors, including figures who have historically backed both U.S. parties. The presence of such figures suggests that what happens on the island is not just personal, but deeply political and potentially global in scale. Further evidence comes from yacht tracking data, which reveals that several superyachts belonging to some of the wealthiest and most influential people in the world have made unregistered stops near the island's docking area. The secrecy surrounding these visits raises serious concerns. If these were simply casual gatherings, why are the travel logs missing? Why are security measures so extreme? The media blackout. Despite mounting evidence, mainstream media outlets have been suspiciously quiet about Trump's private island. Journalists who have attempted to cover the story have reported unusual resistance, not just from Trump's legal team, but from corporate executives and even intelligence sources. One investigative reporter, who initially began covering the story, suddenly withdrew from the project, claiming that they had received anonymous warnings urging them to stop. Another journalist found that their sources stopped responding overnight, with one sending a final cryptic message. "This is bigger than you think." Attempts to publish findings about the island have been met with shadow bans, deleted articles, and sudden retractions. Some researchers believe that the power behind this secrecy extends beyond Trump himself, suggesting that whatever is happening on the island involves forces far greater than one man. The final questions. With so much secrecy, so many unexplained financial transactions, and a growing list of high-profile visitors, one thing is clear. Trump's island is more than just a luxury retreat. Is it a hidden power hub where political and corporate elites negotiate in secrecy? Does it serve a deeper strategic purpose, possibly linked to classified operations? Or is it something even more unexpected, something the world has yet to fully comprehend? Whatever the truth is, It has remained hidden for a reason. But as leaks continue to surface, it may not stay hidden for much longer. Independent investigations and expert theories. As mainstream media remains largely silent on Trump's private island, independent investigators, private detectives, and intelligence analysts have taken matters into their own hands. Using satellite imagery, financial tracking, and witness reports, these experts have attempted to piece together the puzzle, revealing fragments of the island's true purpose. While none of them claim to have definitive proof, their findings and theories raise serious questions. Aerial and satellite analysis. One of the most revealing discoveries comes from independent satellite analysts who have spent months studying high-resolution images of the island. Their findings suggest that several large-scale constructions have taken place in recent years, including an underground facility partially hidden by natural landscapes. The island's perimeter is heavily secured, with what appear to be motion detection sensors, advanced radar systems, and even infrared tracking points. An unusually large runway has been identified, capable of receiving aircraft much bigger than private jets, suggesting high-profile cargo or VIP transport. A former intelligence officer, now working in private security, reviewed the imagery and concluded, "This is not just a billionaire's playground. The level of infrastructure here suggests something far more sophisticated. If this were a simple luxury retreat, you wouldn't need underground bunkers or private airstrips big enough for military-grade planes." Financial irregularities and hidden transactions. Independent financial analysts have attempted to trace the funding behind the island's developments. What they uncovered is a web of offshore accounts, private investment groups, and financial movements that don't appear on any official records linked to Trump's known businesses. One private investigator who specializes in tracking money laundering and offshore banking described the situation. "What we're seeing is a textbook case of asset concealment. The money moving in and out of these accounts is structured in a way that makes it nearly impossible to trace back to a single source. That's exactly how you operate when you don't want anyone to know who's actually paying for something." Even more concerning is the fact that some of the financial movements coincide with major political events, leading some experts to speculate that the island may have been used as a backchannel for negotiations, fundraising, or undisclosed deals. Unexplained maritime activity. Maritime tracking experts have been monitoring vessel movements near the island, and what they've found is highly unusual. Several large, unregistered cargo ships have made brief stops near the island, remaining in restricted waters for a few hours before leaving. Luxury superyachts owned by figures with political and business influence have been tracked near the island without any public record of their visits. The island's dock is built to accommodate vessels much larger than private boats or fishing ships, suggesting a scale of activity that remains unexplained. One independent maritime analyst shared his perspective. "There's a pattern here. Large, unregistered ships don't just pass by islands like this. The fact that some of these vessels are linked to offshore companies known for handling sensitive logistics only adds to the suspicion." Unconfirmed witness accounts. Perhaps the most chilling aspects of the independent investigations are the few first-hand accounts from individuals who claim to have worked in or near the island's operations. Most of these sources have spoken anonymously, fearing retaliation. One source, allegedly a former contractor for a security company linked to the island, described his brief assignment near its perimeter. "You don't ask questions when you work these jobs. We were told the island was a restricted research facility and that our job was simply to monitor airspace activity. But we knew better. There were private flights coming in at odd hours, people arriving who were never logged on any official documents. Whatever's happening there, it's big." Another anonymous individual, who claims to have been hired for maintenance work on a yacht that docked near the island, recalled strange protocols. "They took our phones. We weren't allowed to look in certain areas of a ship. The security was intense, and everyone acted like they knew something we didn't. When I asked where we were going, I got told, 'That's not your concern.'" Theories gaining momentum. With all of this information, independent analysts have proposed several possible explanations for the island's purpose. A global power hub, a place where the world's most powerful figures gather to discuss deals, make private agreements, and strategize away from the media and government oversight. A financial operations center, a secretive offshore facility handling high-stakes transactions, hidden investments, and undisclosed financial activities that cannot be traced back to Trump directly. A high-security research base. Some analysts suggest that the island is used for private intelligence operations, technology experiments, or classified projects that require extreme discretion. Something even more unexpected. The true purpose could be something no one has fully realized yet, with layers of secrecy designed to keep it hidden for reasons yet unknown. The unanswered questions. Despite all of these findings, the biggest questions remain unanswered. Why is there no official documentation linking Trump directly to the island? Why do private security teams intercept anyone who attempts to investigate? Why have so many influential figures been linked to visits, yet publicly deny any knowledge of it? One private detective who has been following the case for years summed it up best. Every time we get close to figuring it out, something gets erased, someone goes silent, or the trail goes cold. That's not an accident. Whatever is happening there, it's meant to stay hidden. But with more evidence surfacing every day, the truth may not stay hidden for much longer.